All right, the left-leaning organization called the Southern Poverty Law Center has long targeted extremists and hate groups, and now it's taking aim at moderates. The civil rights group's so-called Field Guide to Anti-Muslim Extremists lists 15 moderate Muslim reformers as propagandists and hate mongers, and a friend of our show is on that list. Here with the dubious honor to talk about it and set the record straight is national security analyst Ryan Mauro, who's at the law center who calls a Muslim who's called a Muslim basher. It also brands the organization, the Clarion Project, a hate group. Ryan, what's your reaction to being on this list?
Part of me wasn't surprised because I saw the increase in attacks when I was training Homeland Security professionals last week. They went after me and said that I'm an anti-Muslim extremist. And they also went after 2 Muslims on our advisory board. Muslims. And they said that they are anti-Muslim. So accuracy doesn't really seem to be the Southern Poverty Law Center's thing. And they are also counterfeit progressives. Because what could be more progressive of a thing to do than to support moderate Muslims standing up against anti-Semitic groups and extremist groups linked to the Muslim Brotherhood.
See, they went on to say, fueling this hatred has been the propaganda. This is how they label some moderates. The vast majority are completely baseless, produced and popularized by a network of anti-Muslim extremists and their enablers. These men and women have shamelessly exploited terrorist attacks in the Syrian refugee crisis, among other things, to demonize the entire Islamic faith. Have you done that?
Absolutely not. We work with Muslims all the time. Like I said, we have 2 Muslims on our advisory board. Some of my best intelligence sources are Muslims. I've even provided training and intelligence on threats to Muslims in the United States to the authorities.
I didn't see
they're not going to say that.
I know. So Omar Mateen came out, and we hear the audio now of him saying that I'm basically a soldier of ISIS, and I'm doing this for the Zarnievs, who are the Boston bombers. But they wanted to make that an anti-gay act. When these terror attacks happen, they want to spin them another direction. When the Syrians come over, they want to show a child and say, well, you're anti-child.
Right. And so they want to make it so that you can't talk about ideology ever. Why? Because some of their friends are groups like the Council on American Islamic Relations and this other group, Jamaat al-Fuqara. And what's really hypocritical about all of this is that the Southern Poverty Law Center, if you look at their old publications, they will talk about the extremism of some of the same groups that I talk about. But then when I talk about it on Fox News, all of a sudden I'm a racist that's on par with KKK members and neo-Nazis.
And by the way, the big question right now in the stump with both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, they have opposite views of it, and that is the Syrian refugees coming here. So far, 67% more Syrian refugees pouring into the United States are 99% Muslim. There are a lot of Christians that have been displaced, too. Yeah. We don't seem to be taking them. And a lot of these go 675% higher. But a lot of these are adults that are coming over here that are not properly screened.
Right. So with the Syrian refugees, you have about 60%, they say, that are children, but then you don't have the proper ideological vetting that is necessary for the adults that are coming over. And so there was a report that was done that said that about 18% of the time when they do a prosecution related to ISIS, it involves someone that was granted asylum or is a refugee. So this is a significant problem, even though you'll have people like in the administration saying, well, no refugee has carried out an attack. That's not the right standard.
Not backing down? You're not worried about it?
No, I mean, anyone that gets involved in this, you have to realize that you might end up homeless, because who's going to hire someone labeled as an anti-Muslim extremist on a map with KKK groups?
Ryan Mauro, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. You'll always have a home here. We appreciate it.